In this video, we're going to show you the perfect itinerary for the Douro Valley. One of the questions we get asked most is how many days to stay in the region. Many people do a rushed one-day trip from Porto, but we don't recommend it. You'll spend more time in transit than enjoying. To feel the magic of the Douro, the ideal is 4 days. That's why we've prepared a super complete 4-day itinerary with the best of the Douro, detailed day by day. If you have less time, you can cut the Viewpoints day, but it would be a shame. So let's get started. When is the best time to visit the Douro Valley? In our opinion, the best time by far is the fall, especially late September and October. This is the time of the Vindima, the grape harvest. The region is festive, the vines are heavy with grapes and have beautiful colors, turning from green to yellow and red. Spring, from April to June, is also beautiful, with the hills green and full of flowers. We recommend avoiding July and August. It's summer, and the heat in the inland Douro is extreme. Temperatures easily pass 40 degrees Celsius, which makes sightseeing very tiring. So, how will our 4-day itinerary work? The idea is to use one single base in the heart of the Douro, and our recommendation is the village of Pinhão from Pinhão. We'll explore the region by car and by boat. We'll dedicate 1 day to arriving and taking the boat trip, 1 day to visit the Quintas and taste the wines, 1 day to drive to the most beautiful viewpoints, and 1 day to relax and return. Now, let's talk about transportation, which is the most important part. You have 2 main options for arriving and getting around. Option 1 is to go by train. The train journey from Porto to the Douro is an attraction in itself. The train leaves from the beautiful São Bento station in Porto and follows the bank of the Douro River. The journey to Pinhão takes about 2.5 hours and is one of the most beautiful rail journeys in the world. The ticket costs about 14 euros each way. The disadvantage is that, upon arriving in Pinhão, you'll be on foot, limited to visiting only the Quintas that are close to the village. Option 2, and the one we highly recommend, is to rent a car. You pick up the car at Porto Airport and drive to Pinhão. The drive takes about 2 hours. A car is essential for this itinerary. It's the only way to have the freedom to explore the different quintas, which are the wineries, and most importantly, to drive up to the viewpoints, miradouros, which are at the top of the mountains and have the most spectacular views. The roads are mountain roads, full of curves, so drive carefully. Staying in a good area will make your trip much easier. You'll be close to all these tourist spots. In the Douro Valley, the big decision is stay in a village or at a quinta. The first option is to stay in one of the base towns, like Peso da Régua or Pinhão. Régua is larger, has more restaurant options, and cheaper hotels. Pinhão is more charming, located in the heart of the best views, and is where the best boat trips depart from. It's our base recommendation. The second choice, and the most incredible experience, is to stay at a quinta, a winery hotel. The advantage is waking up surrounded by vineyards, with a spectacular view, having breakfast at the winery, and enjoying the pool. The disadvantage is that they are more expensive and isolated. You will need a car to go out for dinner. Famous quintas, that are also hotels, include Quinta de la Rosa, Quinta do Crasto, and Quinta Nova. We created this custom map, which explains exactly which is the best region. If you stay in Pinhão or at a nearby quinta, you can't go wrong. We'll leave the link to this map here on the QR code on the screen and in the video description. We created it on the hotel site we always use, as it always has the best prices. There, you can put in your travel dates and see all the hotel and quinta options within that location at the lowest prices. We'll also leave links to the hotels where we've stayed. In every destination, we always recommend one that is very cheap and super well located in Pinhão, and another that is an unforgettable luxury, quinta. They are great options. An important tip to save on lodging is the advanced booking strategy. The good quintas sell out months in advance. This is why we love using this website. Besides having the lowest prices, it has free cancellation for almost all hotels. You can book as early as possible to guarantee a much lower price, and if you need to cancel later, it's super easy and costs nothing. And remember that in the link below, we always organize everything you need to plan your entire trip for the best price. The sites we use to plan our trips and that have everything much cheaper: travel eSIM, travel insurance at half price, tickets for all attractions, good and cheap hotels we've stayed at, cheap car rentals, and the global account to carry money paying much lower fees. And the links already contain automatic discounts, as we are always updating them. So save and use this page that will make your trip much easier. Now, let's get to the day-by-day plan. Day 1. Arrival in Porto, drive to Pinhão, and boat trip. Arrive at Porto Airport. Pick up your rental car and drive for about 2 hours to Pinhão. The road is good and well marked. Arrive in the village, check into your hotel or your quinta. Spend the afternoon doing the main attraction in Pinhão, the Rabelo boat trip. Rabelo boats are the traditional wooden boats that used to transport the wine. Go to the pier in Pinhão. You don't need to book. The most popular trip lasts 1 hour. It costs about 12 to 15 euros per person. The boat goes upriver, passes under the iron bridge, and gives you a spectacular view of the Quintas and vineyard terraces from the water. In the late afternoon, visit the Pinhão train station. Entry is free. The building is covered in 24 blue and white tile panels depicting the work in the vineyards. It's beautiful. For dinner, find a restaurant on the Pinhão waterfront. Vela Douro is a cheap and super local option, serving daily specials for less than 15 euros. Day 2. Quintas and port wine tasting. Today is for visiting the Quintas, or wineries. You must book your visits in advance. Start the day at Quinta de Bonfim. It belongs to the Symington family and is right in Pinhão, so you can walk if you're staying in the center. The guided tour is excellent, explaining the whole port wine production process. The tour and tasting starts at 25 euros per person. For lunch, you can eat at Quinta de Bonfim itself, or back in the village. In the afternoon, take the car and visit another famous quinta. We recommend Quinta de la Rosa, which is a 5-minute drive from Pinhão. It's a beautiful, family-run estate on the riverbank, producing excellent port and table wines. The visit with a tasting of 3 wines costs about 20 euros. For dinner, if you want a luxury gastronomic experience, drive to DOC by Chef Rui Paula. It's 20 minutes from Pinhão, on the road to Rega. It's a spectacular restaurant with a Michelin star and a surreal view of the river. The tasting menu costs over 150 euros per person. Day 3. Viewpoints and Peso da Régua. Today, we'll use the car to see the most incredible landscapes from above. Wake up early and get your camera ready. Drive up the mountain, leaving Pinhão, towards the village of Casal de Loivos. Stop at the Miradouro de Casal de Loivos. The view from the top, looking down at the river bend in Pinhão and the valleys, was considered one of the most beautiful views in the world by the BBC. It's free. Afterward, continue driving along the National 222 road. This section between Pinhão and Peso da Régua was voted the world's best driving road. Arrive in Peso da Régua, the region's commercial capital. For lunch, we recommend Costas e Pratos. It's located in old train warehouses at the Peso da Régua station. It's a modern restaurant with incredible food and a spectacular wine list. A full lunch costs about 50 euros per person. In the afternoon, visit the Museu do Douro. It's the perfect place to understand the history of the region and of wine production. The ticket costs 6 euros. In the late afternoon, drive back on the National 222 road to Pinhão. An important tip that will save you time and money is to buy tickets for attractions and tours in advance. Buying on the spot is always more expensive, and the most famous tourist spots like the tours at the Quintas and the boat trips can be fully booked, especially during harvest season. We'll leave the link on the QR code on the screen and in the description to the site, where we always buy tickets and tours for the best price. It's the largest tour site in the world and has practically everything there. Tickets for the 1-hour Robalo boat trip in Pinhão, guided tours with tastings at Quintas like Quinta de Bonfim, and even the full-day cruise from Portugal at the best price, and you can buy in any currency, saving on fees. Day 4. Last Quinta and return to Porto. Enjoy your last morning in the Douro. If you're staying at a Quinta, enjoy the pool and the view. If you want to visit one more winery, we recommend Quinta do Crasto. It's on the other side of the river, about a 30-minute drive from Pinhão. It's famous for its infinity pool, which is one of the most famous photos of the Douro. The visit and tasting also need to be booked and cost about 35 euros. After lunch, it's time to leave. Check out and drive back to Porto. The journey takes about 2 hours. Return your rental car at Porto Airport, OPO, and catch your flight home. Now let's talk about transportation, reinforcing it. For this itinerary, a car is essential. You need it to visit the Quintas, and, especially, the viewpoints. You can arrive in Pinhão by train, but you will be very limited. Our recommendation is to rent the car at Porto Airport and keep it for all 4 days. About travel insurance, essential and mandatory to enter Europe. You need coverage of 30,000 euros. Use the comparator in the link in the description to save money. For those who will rent a car, the most important tip is to book in advance online using a price comparator. It's always much cheaper, and you guarantee your car. We'll leave the link to the comparator we use in the description. Quick shopping tips. The total focus is wine. Buy port wine and Douro table wines directly from the Quintas. Also buy high-quality olive oil, honey, and almonds. Remember, tax-free on purchases over 50 euros. And for those who are new here to the channel, welcome. Subscribe and like the video for more tips. And how much does it cost to eat in the Douro Valley? It's a bit more expensive than the rest of inland Portugal, as it's a luxury tourist region. The golden tip is to look for the prato do dia, dish of the day, at lunch in local restaurants. For 10 to 15 euros, you get a full meal. A glass of Douro wine at a restaurant costs about 4 to 5 euros. A mid-range dinner costs 40 to 50 euros per person. And the tip? Service is not included. It's not mandatory, but it's very kind and expected to leave about 10%. And what to do at night? The nightlife in the Douro Valley is very, very quiet. There is no nightlife. The plan is to have a long, relaxed dinner at your Quintas restaurant, or in one of the restaurants in Pinhão, trying local wines and looking at the river. And if you're traveling with children? For small children, the Douro can be a bit boring. It's a destination very focused on wine and landscapes. They will enjoy the 1-hour Rebelo boat trip in Pinhão and the train ride along the riverbank. The pools at the Quintas are also great for them in the summer. And to combine your trip, this itinerary is the perfect combination with Porto. You need to fly into Porto to get here. The best logistic is to spend 4 or 5 days in Porto, exploring the city and doing day trips to Braga and Guimarães, and then rent a car and spend these 4 days sleeping in the Douro. If you liked this detailed Douro Valley itinerary, like the video, and subscribe to our channel. Leave your questions in the comments. Thank you very much and have a great trip.